My name is Barb Wibbles. I am the breeding manager at Mandy McCutcheon Reining Horses. This is a video of the birth of a foal, and we'll just take you through some of the do's and don'ts and what to look for on a normal, quote-unquote, birth. So this mare is having her baby, and as you can see, she is already pushing it out and having contractions as she's pushing, or pushing because of the contractions. So usually you'll see a bubble, which is the placenta around the baby, and so that is what comes out first, and then also a lot of fluid, and she'll be sweating and looking back and be very uncomfortable, which is all very normal in the foaling process. And we try and let them do everything on their own, but if for some reason it's taking too long or it looks like the mare might be in trouble or needs some help, we will step in and help them. But as you can see now, there's a front foot coming out, and that's good. You definitely want to see front feet before anything else. So they'll come out with two front feet. Every once in a while you'll get a front foot that seems to be back farther or can sometimes get stuck behind. So, but it's good that she's got the two front coming out, so that is all going along nicely. And she's tired, obviously, and as you can see, it takes a little while, so, but she is pushing, and sometimes it takes a little while, and but on maiden mares or sometimes mares that have bigger babies, it might take just a little bit more for them to push it out. So, and then we have a nose coming out too, so that would be the next thing you want to see. And so they're kind of almost in like what I call a Superman position, where their legs are out in front of them, then their head, and then the rest of their body comes out. So if their nose comes out first and not their feet, then we have a problem. Or if you see their back end out first, then that's another problem, and you definitely want to call your vet out for that. And this is a pretty good sized baby for this mare, so she's struggling a little, but there's a little bit of time in between contractions where she can kind of think about it, and sometimes mares will get up and down, or they'll just sit up and lay back down, just kind of a way to reposition everything and move around and try and get somewhat comfortable. The hardest part that come out is the shoulders. The chest, shoulder, neck area is probably the widest. So when it gets to that point in the birth canal, it sometimes takes a little longer, and that's where you find it's the hardest to push through. So, and that's kind of where she's at right now, is trying to get that out. You can see the head's almost all the way out. You can see one leg is back just a little bit. So now she's kind of struggled enough and got to a point where she doesn't seem to be making much progress. So I'm helping her by pulling, and I only pull when she pushes. So, and as you can see, one leg is stuck back a little bit. So that's kind of what we're working on, is getting that through. And then once that's through, then we just let her continue pushing. The shoulders are out, and the rest of it's pretty easy to go. And then I'll help get it out of the sack, clean its nose off, make sure mom doesn't squish it. And then a lot of times we'll just have a towel handy to get all that mucus and birthing fluid off so it can breathe good. And usually we'll try and hold its head up so it doesn't lay back down in the birthing fluid. So we'll just put the towel down so that it doesn't get a nose full of shavings. And just let them hang out for a little bit while they figure out what's going on, and help pull the sack off and see if it's a boy or a girl.
Boy. Sweeten it up.
By this time, Mom usually is figuring out what's happened and looking for her baby, and so we kind of let them do their thing. A lot of times too, I'll make sure the feet are all the way out, because sometimes they can get to kicking and can injure their mom if they're still in there. So as you can see, the umbilical cord is still attached, and we let them break that naturally. So right now we're just waiting either for the baby to get up or Mom to get up to detach. And you can see the baby is breathing and just trying to figure out how everything's going. You can see Mom is looking at her baby. A lot of times they'll nick her and talk to him, but this is a good time for her just to relax and let the baby kind of figure out what's going on too. And so now the baby is kind of trying to think about getting up. He doesn't know why or what he's doing, but he knows he's supposed to get up. And Mom is trying to talk to him, so a little bonding going on. Normally the baby will get up and the mom will get up and they'll nurse, and you want to maybe call your vet out sometime later on during the day and have them check over the baby and make sure everything looks good. Once the baby detaches the umbilical cord, we'll dip it in iodine and give the baby an enema if he looks like he needs it, needs a little help passing his stool. So, but yeah, we just keep an eye on him and make sure everything's good to go.